Let's kick it off. I'm going to start off with prayer.
Okay.
Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your way. We thank you for the sky that is above our head one more time and be able to open our eyes and come together. We pray and ask for knowledge and understanding. We pray and we thank you for a chance to share thoughts and research, dear God. We thank you for being able to do a little bit more than we did the day before, and so that we can pass it on to our children, oh Holy One. We thank you so very much for those that are gathered at this time. We pray that this will be used to further grow our community and strengthen us. In your most holy and precious and divine and sacred name, I say, Amen, Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. And
Man and
welcome to Black
Ashe.
Knowledge Matters.
Okay.
As always, we are looking for a wonderful presentation tonight, for we have Sister Naja Turner with us. And Sister Naja Turner is a dynamic educator and advocate for Black science history, dedicated to highlighting the contributions of Black scientists. With a background in biological sciences from her tenure as a research assistant at the Dean McGee Eye Institute, she integrates her scientific expertise into her teaching to inspire students. Through her YouTube channel, Ascending Plato's Cave, and her children's books, Asar Unbound, A Tale of Beginnings, and Knowledge is Better Than Riches, Sister Naja reveals hidden scientific truths and challenges societal perceptions with the slogan, "Pretty isn't pretty, it's simply what you've been told." Her engaging presentations empower audiences to rethink societal norms, appreciate diversity, overcome implicit biases, making her a valuable speaker for educators, students, and anyone interested in science education and Black history. And so, Sister Naja, please inspire, nourish, and educate us. Thank you.
I will do my best. Let the words come from these words that come through my mouth. This is the knowledge and information of the ancestors as I understand it. I am going to introduce something new, and that's something new, and this is good for me because I want this to be interactive. Teaching, I taught in middle school, and so I've learned that for me, teaching has to be interactive because I could be up here explaining a bunch of stuff. But if the receiver hasn't understood it, then I'm just teaching in the wind. So when I say interactive, I need you all's assistance. So let me know what it is that you're understanding, if that makes sense. Okay. So at the start, when you saw the flyer and it said pretty isn't pretty, or if you didn't see it, pretty isn't pretty is the phrase that I came up with. And this has been an evolution or a journey for me too. And now we're at pretty isn't pretty. It's what you've been trained to see. And I would ask you, what does that say to you? What does that mean to you? Is anybody willing to take that on? Anybody? Pretty isn't pretty. It's what you've been trained to see. What does that phrase say to you?
What I get from that is that we've been told all our lives that some things, that certain images are pretty, certain people are pretty, and we believe that because we've been trained to believe that. But in actuality, it is just a set of perceptions that we were taught and that now we believe, but that is not necessarily what is pretty in and of itself. That's what I get, Sister Naja.
Okay, thank you.
It's defining what the standard is. What is beauty? What is, the definite, giving a base.
You muted yourself, Sister Doris, so we didn't hear the end.
Yeah, it's establishing a baseline of understanding of what we see and how we see it.
Okay. So anybody else?
Yes. Also, most of what we see, we just ignore. We consider it unimportant. We've been taught to look for specific things that somebody said were pretty. Okay.
Okay. And I appreciate anybody else. I'm sorry. Please don't let me talk over anybody.
What comes to mind to me is a Clairol. And Madam C.J. Walker and just black hair. Because we've done so much changing. adapting to what it was they told us was pretty as it relates to black hair.
Good. Okay.
So everybody went with the Clairol look, straightening it, getting it relaxed, and all of that kind of great stuff.
Okay. So I only see 3 people, or 4 people. Is that it? Is that anybody else? Because I don't want to overlook anybody. But with that said, and everybody had an opportunity to speak, here we go. So at the conclusion, brothers and sisters, what I would like is for you all to be able to see that our definition of beauty has been shaped for us by outside forces. That's basically what you all said. And this definition now rests in our subconscious and controls our actions consciously. And I'm going to show you that. And it's not real. It's just an agreed upon lie. So my background is in biology and science. So we're going to go beyond the words and actually look to the science of the eye. Okay, here we go. And so normally this is what people say, right? Was somebody willing to read that for me? Anybody feel like reading?
Beauty is a social construct, means that societal norms, culture, and media define what is considered attractive rather than beauty being an innate universal truth. These standards change across history and regions, influencing, for example, body image, clothing, and cosmetic choices, often reinforcing power dynamics and promoting unrealistic, constantly shifting ideals.
So, and that's what you'll hear, and that's what people will say. You've probably heard this before. What is beauty? They say beauty is a social construct. And then that's what it's supposed to be, as opposed to an innate universal truth. So we know it's not an innate universal truth. We know that everybody, because everybody sees something different. That's what they say. We're going to talk about why you see what you see, what's going on in the brain. That's where we're going. Stay with me. So perspective, and this is what happened to me in that first session I had. A particular attitude or a way of regarding something and a point of view. And an elder told me before that if people can't understand different perspectives, you might as well not even talk to them. Because in conversations, and this is what I've come to understand, the things that we have in our head, in our subconscious, those ideals, those things are resting there. And because they're resting there, they're causing us to make decisions consciously. And some of them, we don't even know that they're there. They were put into our subconscious, not necessarily by us, but by forces around us, which causes our perspectives to be different, which is why if you ask 5 different people who see the exact same thing, what they just saw, you'll get 5 different responses because they're all interacting with that information in a different way. As it goes into their head, there's different stimuli, different things that they respond to. And we're going to see this right at the end of this. So different perspectives. For us and where we are now, dealing with the information that comes to us from the ancestors, I feel like we should be questioning right now, where are we going? What are we doing? And for everything we do, what is its purpose? How is this serving us? And if it's not serving us, then we probably should throw it away, because a lot of things have been given to us, taught to us, fed to us, not for our benefit, but to control us. And some of those things rest in our subconscious today. This is the ancestors and elders speaking, and is controlling our actions. Here we go. So how did I get here, right? What happened to me and why am I doing this? Because I could be just sitting at home, but it's the ancestors, believe it or not, the ancestors and elders which pushed me forward. It's Brother Emo who sent us out into the world and told us that we are to share the information that we have with the world, which is why I can't just sit on this. So what happened? What happened to me? When we moved to Oklahoma in 97, it was my plan to get my degree, finish school and get my degree. And I did that. Along the way, it was my goal. Dr. Wilson was in the past, I've said my mentor, but she wasn't my mentor. She was my idol. And I don't idolize people, so that's not true either. But I respected her. I appreciated her work. I appreciated her mind, and I wanted to follow in her footsteps. And I was on that path. It took me to this lab, what you're looking at on the screen, Dean McGee, and I was working in research on the 4th floor. So Dean McGee is an eye institute. And I just went there recently to get some glasses, by the way. But they deal with the eye. If you have disease of the eye, problems of the eye, going blind, in Oklahoma, this is where you go. On the 4th floor is where they do the research to come up with the diseases. That's what they figure out what's going on. I'm sorry. That's where they figure out what's going on. So I was up on the 4th floor with Dr. Lee, who was my mentor at the time. And we were looking into diseases of the eye. To do so, we were using mice because in science, they use animals in order to figure out what's going on with human beings. They don't not necessarily work on human beings, they work on animals. And so we were working with mice. So on the 4th floor, and because as we're working with these mice, you have to know this is science, this is biology. If we're studying the eye, then we need eye tissue. That means we're going to pull some eyes and we're going to look at those cells. Cells build tissues. So we need the cells from the eye because they have a specific function in the body, just like the heart. If a cardiologist is working with the heart, he's not going to take the whole organ, the whole heart organ and put it out there. He has to study the cells of the heart. And that tells him what's going on with the heart. So we were studying the eye, right? To do so, we had to harvest the eyes, which means we had to put these mice to sleep. And the screen, what you see on the screen is kind of like what we did. It was about 9 or 10 mice that were in a vat. And we were upstairs on the 4th floor. And we did this in a dark room. This is important, so stay with me. In fact, this is why I do what I do, the main reason. On the 4th floor, and in this dark room, we were gassing these mice to put them to sleep so that we could then harvest the eyes. So as we start to put the gas into the mice, right there, they're in a vat and this is closed off. So the gas is not going into the whole room, it's just going to the mice. And as the mice start to pass, now it's dark in here. The only light is like a low red light, and that doesn't affect the eye, which is why we had low light. But as the gas is starting to put the mice to sleep, and they are slowly dying, and you can tell, I start to see in this dark room these blue streaks of light. That's all I could tell you. That were just shooting all around the room. And it was the scariest thing I ever seen in my life first. I was initially scared. And it was just shooting in this dark room, this aqua blue light, pinging all of, no sound, I'm sorry. No sound, but just flying all over the room. You with me? So I, of course, had some concerns. And I would ask you, if you were up there and you saw that, what would you think that blue light was? What would you think it was? Anybody, somebody talk to me.
Their souls leaving their body.
Their souls leaving their body. Anybody else?
First thing I thought was energy. I just thought energy, some form of energy.
Right.
Okay. Hey, Sister Sheila. So was that you? That was you? Yeah. So I thought, just like Brother Ed, because what happens when you have these thoughts, whatever they are, you only have the information that you have in your head in order to pull from. So, of course, I thought this was the soul of the mice. Of course, I battled with that because I had also heard that mice don't have souls, only humans have souls. But still, I had to deal with this. These lights were flying all over this room. So I thought it was the soul of the mice. And I said to Dr. Lee, who was in there with me, that's the soul of the mice. And he looked at me and he goes, no, Miss Turner, that's not the soul of the mice. What that is the energy, whoever that was who said energy, nailed it. It's the energy that was absorbed by the eye while the mice were alive. And living things use energy. I mean, we take it in, right? And when we die, you can no longer contain that energy. So it is simply released. Just like your bowel will be released when you die. You will urinate, you will defecate, and the energy that was contained in your eyes will be released. Now, the only reason I saw it up there on this fourth floor is because we were in what kind of room?
Dark.
We were in a dark room. That's the only reason I saw it. So when things die, this happens to them. This energy is released. Now, that's something that you wouldn't know unless you were going through that research, right? That's not something anybody would just know in their head.
Mm-hmm.
But that led me on this journey. So here we go. Stay with me. In order for us to see, in order for your eyes to work and for you to see anything, and normally we don't think about this, you would have to study this and come to understand it, or somebody explain it to you, but this is not something you would just know. But in order for us to see, you'd have to have a light source. You have to have an object, something you're looking at, and normally our eyes are looking at many things. Whoever that brother was who said we see a lot of stuff throughout the day, we just don't recognize it all. That's true. You also have to have a clear path between you and what you're looking at. Because we've seen so many fake movies, we think we can see through walls and around corners. You cannot. It has to be a clear path between you and that thing. And then you have to have a working eye. And this is the process. This is what happens. This is crucial for you to understand to get where I'm going, okay? So, the light. And if we go back in time and think about the early humans, before we had artificial light, the only light we would have had was the sun. And so your eyes would have only been interacting during the day with the sun. At night, the only light would have been the moon. So just think about that too. Mm-hmm. Light shines on the object, stay with me, and then that image is reflected to the eye. The energy of that thing is reflected to the eye. The eye sends the message to the brain, and then the brain, the visual will appear in the brain. That makes sense? Talk to me. Okay. The light shines on the object. The reflection is reflected into the eye. And then that image goes into the brain. Stay with me. Light shines on the object. What is our object, you guys?
An apple.
An apple, right? The image is reflected from the object and then into the eye, right? Right there. Okay. Pause right there, because I want you to understand this. The image goes into the brain, but what is that? What is that thing? And where does the information that tells the brain what that thing is? It hasn't arrived yet for our purposes, right? So I just want you to know that the image is what goes to the brain. Then basically, we have to define the thing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So we say that that was an apple. Whatever it is, we have to define it. You follow me?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. What is that?
A car.
A car. These are simple. These are not supposed to be controversial. What is that?
Person.
Young lady, person.
Yeah, we've kind of decided what kind of person is that?
Female person.
Female, young lady.
See, now that's not supposed to be controversial. Stay with me. But in the world we're in today, some people can't even describe that as a woman. Stay with me. What is that?
Man.
That's a man.
House.
That's a house. None of those are controversial. We see them, we've named them, we've defined them. Yes? We've told ourselves, and these things, what my point is, we define these things. We label them. We decide what they are. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, stay with me. Here we go. What is that?
Barbie doll.
And what are the definitions surrounded around Barbie? How has she been described?
White girl, doll.
Blonde.
Blue-eyed.
Blue-eyed.
How about beautiful?
Beautiful, pretty.
Yeah, that's
Pretty.
the Clairol. That's the Clairol look.
That Clairol, I like that. Yes, that's the Clairol look. And giving our children dolls like this to play with. At some point in our past, we did kind of understand that this was problematic. And we started to ask for it and say, well, we need a black doll. So what did they do? They gave us a black doll. Is that better?
Barely.
No, no,
Talk to me. Why isn't that better? Or is that better or worse?
worse.
It's almost worse because she still got that Clairol look.
So what does that do, Brother Graham? What does that do to the
It
mind?
it puts the mind in a. You're fighting with yourself. Actually, you know she's black, right, or wants to be black, but she's been influenced by the Barbie doll, and
Right
it
now,
sort
we're
of
just talking about, I'm sorry, we're just talking about the doll, right? The
doll.
child who
Yeah,
has the doll will have a problem. The child who has the doll will have a problem if she don't look that necessary like that necessarily. But
exactly.
the doll is presenting the image of what pretty is. You agree?
Yeah.
So we set up a problem in the psyche of the person. You agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're playing with this doll and it doesn't look like them, and it becomes their definition. That's what's logged in their brain of pretty. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and so we're creating a psychosis. So when Sister Mother Doris asked me what was this about, I started to say, or actually I did tell her we were going to talk about mental health because this is definitely speaks to our mental health and how we see the world. And again, this is just my understanding, the little bit of information that has come my way through research and what the ancestors and elders taught me right there in that little house called Wose. And the second principle of Wose is
Gucci Chagalia.
that's right.
Self-determination.
Right. So it was words like that that put me on the path to looking for what's the answer? Why is it that people see this image as pretty? And how did this come to be? Now, again, they had been telling me, we had been saying social construct, beauty is a social construct, but I never seen these images are beautiful. Some of my best friends were dark-skinned women. Sister Sheila can attest to that. And I always thought they were beautiful to me. But some of my people that I've known, they don't see beauty in themselves. And that's for this reason right here. And the problem, and I'm going to show you something in a minute, because our children are honest. They'll tell you the truth if you talk to them, if you're looking for the answers. They'll tell you. But as we get older, this information becomes masked. It becomes our subconscious, and we don't deal with it anymore. We don't deal with it verbally and on the surface. It's just in our subconscious, causing us to make decisions that are not to our betterment, causing us to make decisions that actually are to our detriment. Go ahead, brother Lucas, brother Ed. Did you have something you want to say?
No, I don't know why my screen keeps showing that I'm saying anything. That's why I keep muting myself.
But one of the things as I look at this, Naja, is that we also talk about generation and what was important, how we saw things based on whether we were in the 60s, 70s, the 2000 millennial, all the different categories. And what language. So even as we say things, and somebody defines it in their language or a youthful language or a language abroad. So that's even talking the same tongue in the language gives us difficulty in defining it and then stating it. And I laugh when I see the dolls because my dad has one sister. She's 10 years older than me. And she had her daughter. And I saw her in downtown Oakland. They were crossing the street and my cousin had this big strawberry shortcake doll. So this had to have been in the late 80s. Uh, uh, and I told my aunt, I said I was going to report her to Child Protective Services because she had my cousin with this blonde, strawberry blonde doll. And since then, after then, she got rid of it. But I was serious. And now my cousin is a dentist. She went to UC Davis and graduated, became a dentist. But that was a part of it that people, the self-esteem and how you see yourself, whether you're pretty or whether you look in the mirror or whether you look down, and how we posture ourselves. So whether we see the light in us. And so that's a part of it. The language, the light, the vision. What I see as green, you might see as something else, and let alone if you're colorblind. So my thoughts.
Again, and that's all very true. Deals with our different perspectives and how we absorb or receive information differently. So I received that. However, what I'm sharing with you all and what I want you to see and take from this is that no matter the language, no matter the culture, human beings are, and I'm going to use this word, fungible or malleable. And you can code whatever you can code, or you can get them to see, if you have them at a young age, basically whatever you want them to see. We can train people. In one of my videos, there's a girl who was raised by dogs. So she literally learned to walk and act like a dog. Now, I don't know if I don't want to take that too far, but my point is we can turn people, and this world has. Why are there some people who are Mormon? I'm expanding this beyond what you just see, because it's about what's stored in the brain, okay? And we can store, if you have people from the age that they're young, you can store their definitions and get them to see the world the way you want them, or the way somebody else wants them to see the world. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
You guys look confused.
No,
No,
it
that
takes a
makes
minute to
sense.
take them off.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
it makes
Anybody?
perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
What I see is an extension of the European worldview that
Yes.
has been cast across the world.
Yes.
And what we see on the left is the European idea, and then everything else is an approximation of the European ideal that is relative to what is perceived or understood to be beautiful. It's in many ways it's a global a campaign. So you see it in so many different media forms that we're exposed to every day. And it's not uncommon, it's not unusual for some Black people and others to get caught up in this expanded European worldview.
And
Anybody else?
yes, we have Sister Sheila and then Mama Keisha.
Okay.
Hey, darling. I just couldn't, I had to share this. I remembered when I came to visit you in Oklahoma. I guess this was in the late 90s. And I can't remember all the context, but we were looking at each other and you held my hands and you looked in my eyes and you said, I wish you saw the beauty I see when I look at you. And I went to a mirror. I was like, ooh, whatever she's saying, I sure want to see that.
Bless
But
your heart.
it was just, and of course, since then I've grown, but you know, I think we need to voice that. And in our culture with this light skin, dark skin, and the it's so embedded. Light is pretty, dark is ugly. Look at the ugly dark girl. Oh, she's so beautiful. She's light skinned. We always emphasize she's light skinned. She got long hair. It's so. I'm talking about our culture now. I'm not talking about American global. I'm just talking specifically about our culture. That
Sorry.
we need to interrupt that. And every
Yes.
chance I get, I tell all children, but I make a point to tell children who share my skin hue that they are beautiful. And I try to do the Naja. I look them right in the eyes like you looked at me. And obviously, I mean, that was over 20 something years ago because,
Yes.
yeah. But yeah, so it actually changed something. And when you said that and the way you said it with such intention, it changed something that I was believing, because you knew that I was believing something about myself that was not true. And I just wanted to share that. And I love you.
I love you too. You said somebody else?
I wanted to
Yes, Mama
share.
Keisha.
I
Okay.
wanted to share also an experience that was shocking to me. I was in high school. I was in high school. This was the early 50s. And you know what conditions in this country were like in the early 50s. But we used to go to an AME Zion church that talked about culture a lot. We had culture, Black culture at home. Um, and once a month we went to the NAACP meeting, and everybody sang Lift Every Voice and Sing, and but this again was a different time. And I remember clearly one day in high school, I looked at one of the most popular white girls who looked very much like this, and I thought, she's really ugly. And I carried that around with me for several weeks before I really would allow myself to look at other girls. And I thought, wait a minute, she's not ugly. It's that Black kids are pretty. And all of this was going on in my, 15, 16, 17-year-old head. And I came out with, they might be ugly, but we're really pretty. And I carried that for a long time until I realized, I understood about the pretty ugly business. That was just an experience that I had.
Yes. Anybody else? Was that it, Brother Yusuf?
That's it. Everyone who's raised their hand. That's it.
You know,
Okay.
this is Mama Rose, and I never raised my hand, but I would like to say I have a granddaughter who will be 27 on Saturday, and she's dark skinned, very beautiful, and that's the way we raise her, to let her know she is a very beautiful child. So we instilled that into her from a child, and she have not had any problem, because wherever she goes, she's always somebody will compliment her on her beauty, because her skin is really, really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if we would have done this fake thing with these Barbie dolls, it probably would have ruined her for life. So,
Yeah.
so I think it's what you instill in our babies when they young, as to what will happen as they grow up.
Yeah.
Hey, when I grew up in the early 60s, early 70s, I liked the dark skinned girls. But I guess I came, I love Jane Brown. He said, I'm black and I'm proud. And somehow I clicked it to the Black Panthers back then, and Angela Davis with the afro. And man, I just thought black was beautiful.
And we've said, thank you for that, Brother Damani. Thank all of you for sharing. And what I really want you to see is, because we can define it, it doesn't necessarily even have to be. 2000 Seasons says there is no beauty but in relationships. So that it's really not to our benefit to judge anybody necessarily by what they look like, because we all look like something. The fact that Europeans have fed us these images to control us is problematic. And what I want us to see is that the ability to define what is not necessarily beauty, because if beauty is relationships, that has nothing to do with what we look like, and you can define that. The problem is, and we need to understand that, because we're working towards something, we're working towards a society where our children can grow up no matter what they look like and feel whole and complete, because we will not teach them to see these images. We seek another society, another reality, really, if that makes sense. Because I don't know that you will ever be able to defeat what they keep pumping at you and throwing at you, because we do not have access to our children's minds. And that is the problem. Does that make sense? You guys look confused. Yes. Are you feeling me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
we don't
Okay.
have access. They're being controlled for 10 hours a day before they get back to us when they're
Exactly.
young, going through the educational process. We only have them in the afternoon and evening.
And a lot of
Exactly.
people are letting them walk around with those devices in their hand outside of the 10 hours in school, at home, wherever, walking down the street. You see these little ones with their eyes glued to the media.
And that's going to be even more detrimental. Where they're going with this artificial intelligence and how, understand this, at the beginning we said there are ideas that are resting in our subconscious and causing us to act consciously, right? There are people who, well, let me just say this. We create words. All words, we create them. They don't just drop down from heaven. For instance, colorism, colorism I think is used against us. This is not about colorism. And I also want to say that my words are not, I'm not speaking against anybody. I'm not speaking from envy or jealousy. That's not what this is about. This is about understanding that we can reshape the world if we had that access to our children. We could not cause them, but we could help them see the world in a different way where they could feel complete and not have to battle, because we're constantly battling against this system. Image is just one, but the system is diabolical. And there's so many examples that I could show you. Time does not permit. So we're just dealing with this one thing, image. But this entire system is diabolical and built on everything that is opposite of what our ancestors, the ancients, taught us to be. Comments, concerns?
Absolutely. Correct.
Yeah, let's put another picture on. I'm sick of looking at this at Barbie.
Okay, you started looking at Barbie. Here we
Yes.
go.
Yeah,
We're almost done.
I just,
So
Barbie, Barbie.
got it. No problem. I just want to make sure everybody was clear now. So we have admonitions from the past where these words, these phrases come down to us from the ancients. And so this is crucial because we hear these phrases and I think some people, sometimes we just think they're just thrown out. They're just cute little phrases. But I believe that the ancients was trying to send us a message because I think they had lived through this and saw where it was going. So if you read like beauty is somebody talking or am I hearing myself? Beauty is only skin deep, right? You've heard that before. Don't judge a book by its cover. Of course, there is no beauty but in relationships. That's a new one. That's Brother Ayikwe Arma. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and beauty is as beauty does. Now, those are the ones that I could come up with. Are there any that you all know or have heard that I can add to this list or that you know of? No? If not, we'll move on.
That's a good list.
Yeah.
That's a good list. You've
Yeah.
heard those before, Brother Luke, Brother Ed?
Yes, yes.
Sister Naja, I'm gonna take a chance. I'm just gonna take a chance with this because at first I thought you were saying something that I was really grasping and understanding, but the more you talk, there's something much deeper that I'm getting that I don't know if I can articulate fully, but it's more that if I'm getting you right, it is what you were saying around the images and how we take images. That power to not only just shape, what common ideas of beauty are and that, but this power to even determine what beauty is, to define what beauty is, and to have that attached to an image and what that does to our brain at an early point, that image is now tied to a definition and a set of concepts that it's very difficult to, as we get older, to unravel that. But if we actually now understand, even in the image realm, that we have to take control of naming those images, defining those images. So when those children first see them and come into contact with them, their brain is encoded differently with what that is.
That's right. Yeah, very well said. Yes, that's exactly where we're trying to go, and want us to understand that we have the power to define. Somebody else has been defining for us, and we've been in this existence for about 300 years, and it's challenging. And the fact that we think that we are, I'm going to show you something in a minute. We think that we are ascending and getting better. And, if you deal in materialism, maybe we are. But as a people, and our consciousness is devolving because we've been moved away from ourselves. And the goal is to get back, not just to, because what we were sitting here talking, we can talk about it. But what if the child was never instilled, just like you were saying, Brother Yusuf, what if the child was never fed that garbage and you didn't have to break free from it, right? That would be a whole different way of being on this planet. And we have a right to that existence. We have a right to live free from other people's definitions. You feel me?
This is powerful.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you see it. All right, I wanted to, this is a good place for our Brother Yusuf for us to get that other video I wanted them to see. All right. So what do I need to do?
So you can stop your sharing right now.
Okay.
And then do that same thing. Make sure as you share, I think you already included the sound, but just make sure that's still clicked, that share sound, and then share that video.
And now, of course, I can't find it. It's not one of my screens that are up. So do I have to close out and go get it?
Sometimes some of those screens are hidden. Is there and Brother Bill can actually help us with that too. Sometimes it'll say show more screens or something like that as well, as you're looking, or show all screens.
Search bar. So I see Zoom, Google Chrome. That's not it. Screen. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not good with technology. That's my problem.
Take your time.
Okay.
All right. We're seeing your PowerPoint at this point. Your presentation.
I'm trying to get that away.
All right.
Stop share. Your screen sharing is paused. Stop sharing.
It looks like Minister Bill is here.
Yes, you can share your entire desktop, or you can pick an application from what the Zoom's share menu shows you. It often shows you several selections, whatever is open on your desk.
Can you see my screen now?
No, I can't.
You can't see Facebook, can you?
No.
Wow. So I guess I have to
share. But you're not
screen.
sharing anything now, right?
No.
You wanted to share a Facebook page?
Yes, I want to share a video, and I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, okay. Then when you click share in Zoom, look for that same thing that you want to share as one of the options for sharing. It won't be at the top. What's at the top is your desktop, but underneath that should be all the other windows that are open.
So she should have the video. She should share and then have the video open, right? Have the video open.
Brother Demonic.
What?
This is going to drive me nuts. So I'm looking at it, but you all aren't. That's a problem. So
there it is.
Yeah,
now go share.
Where?
Yeah.
Where do I say share?
Now that you see the video, share your screen again.
Yes.
Yeah, but I can't see. Now that I have the screen up, where does it say share? See, I don't have a place to share now.
The share will only come up when you press the share button in Zoom.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm not in Zoom.
No.
Yes, you are, but you haven't pressed the share button or haven't activated a share session.
Yeah, because you ended it.
So just click it again. Click that little icon that has an arrow and says share. It should be at the bottom.
Yeah, see, I don't see it right now. It's gone, and I sure want you guys to see this video. Where, dear? Right here.
Try that one now. Try to zoom.
Zoom. See, Zoom is up.
Yeah, because we see you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go right there.
Share.
Yeah.
Okay, but then now the screen I need is not there. You see?
So go share.
Share.
Yeah, you need to find
There
that
you
share
go.
button. Okay, something is loading.
Now find that Facebook page.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right up top.
Can you see it now?
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, you got it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for being patient. That was about to
Absolutely.
drive me
No
nuts.
problem.
Okay.
They see it.
I want you to check this out.
Can't hear it.
Make sure the sound is on.
Because you want your children not to look like you. Yeah. And this is what I detected from that conversation instantly is if you think you're ugly, so you want to have children that don't look like you, that's literally self-hate.
How do I get to the beginning?
Or what would you call it?
Not lack of
Huh?
confidence.
Put down at the bottom.
You can drag the slider at the
You
bottom.
look in the mirror. Are you happy
The
with what you
slider
see?
at the bottom?
Yes.
Not all the times.
That's obviously a form.
See, I need to move that then. Let me move this. Hold on, you guys. Okay, I got it. Here we go. I want you to see the beginning. Oh, what is that? A user named Bill is requesting remote. Yes, approve. Sorry.
Use your cursor.
Do you trust this user? Yes.
Yeah, confirm.
You got me, Brother Bill?
I'm trying, but I
Okay.
don't see the entire screen. I'm going to have to leave it to you. I can't see your entire screen.
Okay.
I'm
I have
wondering if you
clicked on
can
them.
just hit that refresh button at the top, if it'll just over the Facebook.
Good idea.
Oh,
We
yeah.
can try that,
Click what?
but it's
Oh,
already in mode where it's not mouse. It's not a pointer anymore.
Mm.
So you need to change the mode. I can't reach it. You're in an annotate mode.
Oh, okay.
So in the annotation,
in that
in
when I
annotate
click-
mode, it's giving us yellow lines wherever you put your mouse.
Okay, I see that.
So I think there's a red X you can click to get out of annotation mode.
Am I out of it now? I think I am.
Yeah, that
Okay.
looks like a cursor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you have a regular cursor. Take that cursor and
Now slide
yes,
that back.
there you
Now
are.
you got it. Now, yeah.
We're a team. Now, why am I looking at two? Should I close this one out? Can you all see?
No, just start it again. You're at the beginning now. You got it.
Okay.
Yo, why do you like black women so much? Like, you know?
Do you?
I don't know.
Oh, how about let's talk about that instead. Why don't you? If you're black.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel like I look good. That's why.
What does that got to do with you not liking black women? Your looks. What does that got to do with anything?
I don't know. I just like other races.
Okay, what's the reasons?
I never get much attention. That's why, from different women.
So it's not. Wait. You never get much attention from different women?
Yeah.
So that's what causes you to be attracted to other women because you don't get much attention from them?
Mm-hmm.
So what causes you to not be attracted to black women?
Because I don't get like enough like good experience. Like if I talk to them, yeah.
What makes you think that I like black women? What did you see? You saw a video or something?
Yeah.
What video was it?
With this black guy, he said he likes white women. He likes white children.
Ah, it's right here on TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. I don't mind sharing with you my intent.
Yeah.
Behind that conversation and those claims.
Yeah.
He was a Nigerian guy.
Yeah.
We have a Nigerian that came up and went out of his way to mention the fact that he absolutely loves white women. And then I asked him why. Because I want white children. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Okay. So I said, why do you want white children? You don't want your children to look like you. No. Why? Because I'm ugly. Where in Africa are you from?
Nigeria.
Ah, okay. You have beautiful women over there in Nigeria. Beautiful women over there. I'm attracted to black women.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's cool. Well, I'm attracted to white women.
You are?
I'm attracted to white women.
Oh, then let's trade. Let's trade. You come here and I go over there, yeah?
Oh wow, that would be so nice. Would you love to come to Nigeria?
Yeah, let's trade. Let's trade. You come this way, I go that way. Why do you prefer white women? Why?
I just like white women.
Yeah, but why? There's a reason, I'm sure.
I want to have white kids. Yeah, that's the reason.
Say it again?
I want to have white children.
You want white children?
Yeah.
Why?
I just like white children. They're gorgeous.
You don't like black children?
I just like my kids to be white. Is that the problem?
You don't want your children to look like the father.
Not at all. I don't want my children to look like me. I'm ugly.
Let me see. No, bring your face over here. Bring your face. I haven't seen you. You keep hiding. You keep hiding. Let me see. So, when you look in the mirror, you don't think you're handsome?
No. I'm not handsome.
You're out of your mind, sir.
Oh, really?
You're a handsome black man. And I mean that. I'm a straight man, but I'm being sincere with you. You should not feel like that about yourself. That is not healthy to think that you are not a beautiful person and to want your children to look like another race. Why do you think you feel like that about yourself? Why?
It's a long story.
Why do you want white
Okay,
children?
you guys. I don't want to take up too much of your time. We've been going for an hour. That's a bit longer. And I found that video not to share because this fellow Ignacio, he is a Hispanic guy in Mexico, and he's aware that Mexicans come from Black people and Spanish people. He knows that history. So the things that he has in his mind and what he has come to understand about Mexican culture has taught him and caused him to see the world different. So he sees beauty in Blackness because he's retrained himself too. That's the only thing. But the sadness, the reason I show you this is those two young Black men. Did that hurt your soul?
Yes.
Yes. That they were willing to express it, but they expressed it to him. I've had too many students. I was teaching 8th grade who felt this same way and would tell me this in cards. I would have them do these little exercises and write how they felt about themselves. And none of them could come to say positive things about themselves, not just the images, but they had a very negative understanding of who and what they were in their culture. And what I've come to understand is many of us have that. Now, I'm not trying to talk about everybody, but many of us have that if we have not gone to work on ourselves. And we're walking around, and as we get older, those ideals are resting in our subconscious. Now, watch this, causing us to make certain decisions about which way we're going. And just like Mexico, the question is, where are we going here in the United States? Mexico was once Black people and Hispanics. And they have a word down in Mexico, which they call, and I'm wrapping up, improve the race. So when they were Black and their colonizers were the conquistadors, they wanted to lighten themselves. So they all wanted to have children with the conquistadors to improve their race, to get it lighter and lighter. And so now what you call a Mexican today, that young man right there, they're the result of that miscegenation of those relationships. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the question I ask us is, where are we going? 100 or 150 years, what will we look like here in the United States if we do not put an attack in this and attack it? And the attack is just by knowing and teaching one another first. And then ultimately, we seek to create a world where we can live free of other people's ideas. And on that note, I'll close. Thoughts, comments?
Brother Katabazi.
Yes, you asked the question where we're going, and what I see is we're going into genetic absorption. As Black people, we're being genetically absorbed in this country. Each generation of our kids tend to be taller, they tend to be lighter skinned. A lot of this is a conscious effort on the part of young men and young women that want to produce lighter skinned children. They perceive a value in their kids having a lighter skin in this culture, and that is their motivation. Plus the assault of white supremacy and colorism is ever present. It
Yeah.
never goes away,
Yeah.
and we are constantly subjected to it, mostly through the media. And Black people watch a lot of television, and all of the dramas, the soap operas, the dramas, a lot of the reality shows. You see Black people pursuing this white ideal, and it's being passed on to children, and children are being caught up in it, and the parents are not strong enough or informed enough or caring enough or discerning enough to be able to steer their children away from it. They don't see it as something that is necessarily that evil. But that's what I see. I see the genetically absorption of Black people in this culture as we continue to mix in with the Caucasian race and produce these biracial children.
And the advertising that is going on, Sister Naja, I don't know about your local advertising there, but here, if you watch television on the local stations, you constantly see these commercials where you have the Black guy with the white woman in the commercial, or you have
Yes.
the Black woman with the white guy, and I'm shouting out. My wife is saying, "Stop shouting!" I'm like, "Where's his Black wife? Where's her Black husband?" And of course, I realize it's being done intentionally, and that's what Katabazi, part of what Kazabadi is talking about. These people are paying big money for these commercials. So when you wrote this commercial, why did you give this Black guy a white woman in the bed commercial? For the mattress, they're going looking for the mattress, the Black guy and the white woman, or the commercial where you got Cedric the Entertainer entertaining in the backyard, and there's the Black girl with her white husband. I'm like, okay, what's this all about? Why can't we have the Black man with a Black wife? And I'll leave it at that.
Um, again, I totally agree, huh? Yeah. I would end, on my presentation, the last image, and I'm not going to go back to it. It's the Sphinx, because I know you all know what the Sphinx is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an image that I embrace. It's close to my soul, because that image was created over, some people say 20,000 years ago, and I believe it's very old.
It is.
But it's like the ancients knew that image says, again, different people see different things in images. And so what I see, based on what I've come to understand about us as a people, about our biology and about who we are, that image says to me that we have to cultivate the human mind in order to still or calm the animal nature, because we as a people have an animal nature. That, again, how do you do that? That comes with the definitions, it comes with the words, it comes with the culture that you teach, that puts the person at peace. And it doesn't have to be violent. It's not violent. I think that our people had a better understanding of humanity. They were more humane. And we have to, our goal has to be to try and get back there, to recreate that reality for us as a people. Thank you. Thank you all for your time. I have enjoyed this tremendously. It's always good to be in the WOSE space and to see you all's faces, and I mean that sincerely.
We want you to do some more Wednesday nights too. I'm sure you got a lot of stuff that you've been wanting to put forward. So bring it forward. Bring it forward.
If you will have me back, I would love to come.
We want you to come back. I'm giving you the invitation.
Bless your heart. I would love to come.
Comments?
Yeah, I guess what your statement of where do we go from here, one of the things is that we'll say is man, woman, know thyself. And by knowing yourself, you know God, you understand yourself. So as you started out talking about the light, I'm the light, meaning that's it's who you are, who other thinks you are, and who you really, so it's knowing who you really are. Culturalism. So as a Pan-African view, no matter where you come from, as long as you're a Black man, you're African. So whether you're from Brazil or South America or the continent, that's what we have to see. And we have to see the light and have to radiate the light, especially in this time when this week we were dealing with the lunar eclipse, which is reflection. So our children are a reflection of us and what we put forward. So our call is to teach and to emancipate your mind from mental slavery. And so it's parenting in the 21st century is different than in the 1950s or 60s, when there might have been just a radio or one TV. Now everybody's got a device. So you got to hire somebody to lock down your kids, what they're seeing on their device, and tell them what our way is. And I remember telling my children, that's not our way. When September, November starts coming and all the commercials about what you need to have and what they just want you to spend your money on stupid stuff. And as they get older, we get smarter, but that is our job. And it's our job in the community to have positive images, to have books, to have content. We have to put it out there and move that so that they never even know it. So one of the stories I've told you guys over and over, and one of Imhotep's proudest moments as a parent was when somebody showed Rahotep a picture of Michelangelo's Christ. And he says, who is that? Because he had never seen a white Jesus in his grandmother's house or in our house or anything. So until he went to, someplace else, and it's like, and that's what we have to do so that when they give the images, like that's foreign to our children. That's foreign to our community. So our Black church should not be sitting up there with a stained glass with our images need to teach us about who we are.
Yes.
And that is where we are, what we're doing. Black knowledge matters because it's telling our kids who they are, telling them who their ancestors are, telling them who they can be. So I look at, and the things that go on, whether it's in the sports world right now, and because we follow soccer, the colorism and the stuff that's been going on in soccer recently, where they call somebody out and call them a name and da-da-da-da, and then and it's big money. It's the largest, soccer is the largest. So now it's the controversy. And you got the brothers from all over the world playing, and they making the money. It's like, okay, but it's about money. We can't get him there. If he's not scoring the goals, then folks are, we're in this world where it's about money. And so they're making billions of dollars off cosmetics, off red hair, purple hair, blue hair, you know. And we've been creative on how we fix all kinds of hair, but then the Chinese are like, okay, we're gonna put all kinds of chemicals and do whatever. But our role, where do we go from here? We continue to teach, we continue to preach the way, we can show the way, we've got to show the light, and that light has to shine bright in all that we do and all that we say. And in our music. So from the child, what music are we playing to our children? What do they hear? Okay, got a beat, you know, but then you got to put the right words behind the beat. You got that frequency, that wave. You got to have the right words behind it, and they know what it incites. So we've got to have our culture in the forefront, and that becomes automatic reflex to love ourselves and love our way and love our culture. And that's what we're trying to do here, is to put it out there so they have something to grab hold to. Our culture isn't hands sagging. Our culture isn't disrespecting the family or women. Our way is about helping, having positive relationships, having families that are connected, having communities that are connected. That's our way. That's the light. You know, so I guess when I think about it, yes, the image defining, the defining is more complex. The matrix more complex, you know. But that's what we have to show the light. We've got to be the light, and so our kids will shine it brighter. It won't, and so therefore so we won't have that lunar eclipse with that shadow. They're just a shadow. Sometimes these kids are just a shadow of what they're able to be. So we've got to move on so that they can shine bright and be true reflection of our way.
Ashe, I can't disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
On that note,
Yeah.
much love to see you guys. Tell me when I can come back and I'll be here with bells on.
So we're going to start arranging that right away. And if we could, everyone, if everyone can come off mute and give Sister Naja the recognition and thank you and gratitude that she deserves.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
For coming and sharing.
Thank you for sharing with me.
Well, we still got 15 more minutes, right?
Yeah, you just rushing off. It's 90
The
minutes.
money is.
Yeah,
You have more time.
you're not through.
Right, and
Oh,
that's what I'm
really?
saying. That's what I'm
We
saying.
got
We're
some
not
more.
done.
You thought it was just an
Demani,
hour,
what you
huh?
doing?
No, it's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's an hour. I didn't
Oh,
know.
I thought y'all was ending it. I thought you all was ending the.
Oops.
Sister
Well, I thought it
Naja,
was an hour. I was ending it because I thought it was an
Oh no,
hour and
it's
I didn't want to hold
it's
you
an hour and a
guys.
half for Naja.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
90 minutes.
Sister Naja, I will disagree with your coworker about the energy from the eyes. Energy is absorbed in darkness. It doesn't bounce off the walls looking for a way out. I believe those were the souls of the mice.
Say that again now.
Energy is absorbed. If energy is absorbed, a battery, a flashlight, it's absorbing. So when you said the lights were bouncing and jumping all around the room, and he said that's not what you think it is, that's the energy from the eye being released. If it was being released energy, it would just absorb into the darkness. It wouldn't bounce looking for a way out. Those were the souls.
Okay, so when I say bounce, maybe my wording may have been wrong. I just saw it shooting all over the room. But here's the. I'm sorry. Did somebody say something?
That's on you. We have noodles.
So here it is. Depending on what you believe to be true, because I don't argue with people about what they believe anymore. Because whatever it is that you believe, then that's what you will see in the world. So for those who feel like mice have a soul, then that's what you will see. But what we've studied and what I know, because we did some experiments after this, right? And there's an experiment. If we were in the same space, I would show you the experiment that we did that shows you that your eyes, you can't see in the absence of light. And as far as what happens to that energy in the darkness, I would show you that, right? But if you don't, what am I saying? Whatever one believes is what they will see in the world. So if you believe it's the soul, then you'll call it the soul, and I won't argue with it. Okay, because if that's what you believe, that's what you believe. Do mice have a soul though?
When you gas them, something took them from a moving, living creature to a state where they weren't moving and living anymore.
Right.
The gas removed something that gave them the energy to move.
The gas put them to sleep for sure. But so what do we know about the eye? What do you know about the eye, Brother Ed? What you got?
There are different eyes in this world. There are animals that see in absolute dark, whereas we would need light to see. But there are animals that see in absolute dark because their eyes are designed differently than human eyes.
And
so
some of them see in different colorams as well. Some animals see in different colorams. They don't necessarily see the color spectrum that our eyes perceive
that we
it.
See. Yes.
They may see it in simply black and white, or they may see it in some other hues and variation, like especially the birds.
And I'll accept that. And what I'll say is the rainbow shows us different in light. There are different, I'll say just for simplification, different types of energy, right? There's red light, blue light. All of those are different wavelengths of light, right? And if you tell me that different eyes use different types of energy, I'll accept that. But I will say that all eyes need light. There's photoreceptors in your eye. The cells are called photoreceptors. Photo means light. Receptor means to receive. Yeah, I'm coming over there. Right? So those photos, did you cut that off? Those photos, you got to cut that off because I got an echo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those photoreceptors absorb the light of the energy and send that energy to the brain in order for your brain to receive the message. That's how they work. I'll leave that there. but there, there are squids, right? Live down in the bottom. They have the biggest eyes. The largest eyes on our planet are found in squids. Their eyes are huge, and they live at the bottom. Real low in the depth of the ocean. They have these huge eyes because there's very little light that reaches. Okay, so yes, life adjusts on this planet.
I think the eyes of the falcon is one of the most exciting. The falcon, when they can soar so high as 2 miles up in the sky, and they can see a rodent. They can see a rodent on the ground, and then they can come down. That's why the ancestors selected that creature as Heru, because of the great vision that bird has, as well as speed and endurance. They can fly higher than most birds, and they can see deeper. So it raises the whole question around vision and even reality. We're only seeing relative levels of reality because of our ability to perceive with our eyes and our brains to translate it. But if human beings had the vision of a falcon, and if they had the physical strength of an ant, it'd be a truly awesome creature.
But you know what, Sister Naja, about that video that you showed? I was surprised that the Nigerian brother, in a country where millions of people that look like him would have that type of feeling about himself. Because you would think that a person raised in a culture where everybody has, before the people coming and going that aren't black, everybody looks like, has black skin. I was surprised to hear him say what he said.
That was painfully sad watching
about
that, brother.
himself.
It was.
I
wasn't surprised, but it was sad.
I wouldn't have thought that in that culture he would feel that, but apparently he did.
Yeah, he
That
gets
that
assaulted
British
with the same
colonization.
images.
That's
He
right.
gets assaulted with the same images that we get assaulted with, you know. We I read somewhere that we see more images in one day than people 75 years ago seen in their entire lifetime. We
Yeah.
we are we are assaulted with images.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
yeah, yeah.
Wow,
So he
that's a
sees
good
those
point.
same images that, and 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 even when you raise your, I know someone mentioned they raise their children. I grew up, my mother was like black of the berry, sweet of the juice, my chocolate drop, my pretty girl. I got all that pretty, 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 pretty. But there's an outer world that we deal, there's a microcosm, which is our family and everything, but there's an outer world. And it's the
That's right.
interplay between the outer, um, you
Yes.
know. So I got tons of positive images as a young girl, um, around skin color.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Sister Naja,
Yes.
uh, our responses to you regarding what you presented to us, and you said when you gave a presentation before, and then when the comments came in afterwards, you were not expecting. It was almost like, didn't you just see what I showed you? So what? I don't know if it's regional.
It's regional.
I'll leave.
It's,
I'll leave because I thought it was a
Both
wonderful
says
presentation
Yeah.
because you
so
you you keyed in on something that is taking our youth away. TikTok, uh, 10-year-olds having phones at school and can't go to sleep for needing the electronic stimulant.
mhm.
I would have thought that they would have understood just what you were trying to say.
Where? You mean here in Oklahoma?
No, when you said you gave the presentation and afterwards when you had the discussion, it was like, what?
Yeah. So it wasn't in class to my students. This was, when we first came here,
Mm-hmm.
uh, we were having sessions. We thought we were going to be the Wosay of Oklahoma. That didn't last. That didn't work because this is a hard nut to crack here in Oklahoma. But uh, it's just that I have evolved with my way of explaining it because I've learned from that. Oh, people don't hear you for what you intend. They hear you for what they think you're saying. They interpret it, whatever it is that's going on in their head. That's right, Sister Sheila. They latch on to those pieces that relate to their understanding, and that they don't understand. If they don't have the information in their head to deal with it, they just let it go. Which is why as we teach, you have to fill in all the stuff underneath that causes a person to be able to conclude like you conclude. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have to teach that foundational stuff. And a lot of stuff was going on in my head now through study is the biology of what we are. And I can teach that. That's when I came here, that's what I wanted to understand, and that's what I studied. And so now just pieces of our biology I'd like to share with our community. And so you all were very receptive, and I want to say that, of course, this is Wosay. Wosay is studious people, so I understand that. Not all people are cups. A lot of people are cups that are already full. They think they're not open to be receptive to new information. So that's what I was running up against, and that's what I understood.
We have
Yeah.
Brother Damani with his hand raised.
Yeah, just down at my presentation, Sister Naja. Yeah, I know I read a quote I think yesterday on Facebook by Dr. Frances Quest Wesley. She said, "I will not stop till black kids learn to love them. Black children learn to love themselves." And it just go along. You say she was your idol growing up, and
Yes.
Yeah.
we're dealing with culture and pluralism. We are, like Priscilla said, we're a microcosm in the macrocosm. So we're
Mm-hmm.
always dealing with culture and pluralism, and uh, the lady that wrote Yorugu, Sister Marumba Ani,
Right.
she talks about culture and pluralism, and I think them kids you showed in that video was they didn't grow up in a loving home. Somebody reinforcing to them that they are beautiful. that they're fine just like they are. You know, I think it starts in the home, like Sister Doris said. It starts in the home and early childhood, and yeah, um, yeah. But I can see how this can affect Black unity, Black economics, economic empowerment. I can see how what
Yes.
you're talking about. If you, because I know so many in Sacramento, I know so many I know so many Black people who've never stepped foot in the African market. So many people who don't support Black business. They're Black, but they don't support Black business. To me, it's automatic. You support Black business, so we can circulate those Black dollars. And it's puzzling that people I guess it shouldn't be puzzling.
Yeah, well,
It shouldn't be puzzling, but it is puzzling that people don't see the value in supporting Black businesses and Black nonprofits. And I mean, it's
can I say this to you all before we leave?
Mhm.
Because
oh, yeah, I'm
I
done.
was a teacher in a middle school dealing with our children, our babies. And I did that, believe it or not. Well, I won't tell you that, but anyway, in the classroom, every year I would see children who are unloved. And there are always people, and you can tell they're unloved. And there are always people who will say, well, you know, it's the family. The family has it. These babies didn't have no families. Some of them were being raised by a mother's aunt or a mother's sister, living on somebody's couch from this time. So the way this society has broken and is breaking our families, our communities, it is intentional. What they're turning us into, all of this. And I, you know, if you give me time, I can show you how this is intentional and how our children are absorbing it. And when I ask the question, like, if we don't correct this, what will we become? It's just it's the not natural, it's the trajectory we're on. It's the path that we're on if we don't fix it. And that's the way I see it.
Yeah, I think you're right. We're being absorbed, and eventually we'll disappear. You won't find classic Black people in this country. You may see some variation. Classic Black peoples, like most of us, will not exist. We'll be genetically absorbed at the current rate that we're going. And it is believed that this is what happened in Argentina. All of their Black people disappeared. They were genetically absorbed. It was a conscious program
Yes.
that was set in place, and we're on that same trajectory.
Yes. Especially with these young people out here calling. And so think about this FBA, right? They're already starting to separate themselves out, and they see themselves as different. And I don't know how they do this. FBA, they talk about their lineage. That's problematic because they're building off the culture and the history of Africa, but they want to separate themselves. You know, even again, like I said, I don't argue with people about what they believe, but I do think some elders need to get in their ear and be able to try and pass on a little bit of information in a loving way to get them to see that they're falling for the same thing generations before them have fallen for. I remember in the 60s and 70s, we thought the hippies were going to be cool, you know, and they were going to be a different breed of people, and you know, life was going to be great for everybody. Not so much.
Sister Naja, I don't get out much. What is FBA?
Future business knowledge.
I was thinking
Foundational Black American.
What is it?
Nasad's group. The brother that did the Black
Tariq Nasheed.
Tariq
Nasheed?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hidden Color Series. The brother did Hidden Color Series. That's his group.
Yeah.
Right.
And what does the letter stand for?
Foundational Black Americans.
Not Africans. Because they don't see themselves as Africans.
Oh.
They're Indians.
Yeah, they're part of the Indian.
They forgot the part about the five civilized tribes that took them because they had them enslaved initially. And after the Civil War, the Confederates wouldn't let them off the reservations. They don't know that part. So they think they're Indians.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They forgot even if they're Indian, they still African. They just happen to live on the Indian
Right.
reservation.
Right.
Hey, can I
They
say
don't
one
get
more thing?
Like Sister Doris said, no matter where you come.
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Sister Naja. You said something?
No.
Oh, yeah. I was
you
gonna say just one
Sister.
more quick thing before it slipped my mind. Our ancestors already figured this stuff out. Our solution to our problem is Pan-Africanism. Because what is the United States? I put on Facebook the other day that I got this definition from Dr. CBS Teresa Staley Biden. I can't even pronounce her name. But anyway, America is a war-driven racial hierarchy, political economy. Peace is subversive. Peace is antithetical to the United States. Peace is seen as subversive. If you're advocating for peaceful coexistence, like Dr. King and all our black leaders was, then that is seen as subversive, a threat to primitive accumulation. And so, our scholars already figured this out. The answer to this is Pan-Africanism. The answer to our problem is unity across ideological lines, and that can be our only solution. Amar Cabral, Nkrumah, all them guys already figured out. They answered all the questions we're thinking about. We stand on the shoulders of our ancestors. Sometimes we ain't got to do the research. The research has already been done. That's what I'm saying. The research has already been done, and the answer to all our problems is Pan-Africanism, because we got to come together as a global people. You see what's happening today. These Europeans and the Israelis are creating all this. They got the Muslims fighting each other. They're creating division. They divide and conquer the Muslims. They're doing that right now. And so we got to come together, or we're going to be conquered too. We got to come together under Pan-Africanism, and we got to move fast.
I agree. It's our best. It's our best system for saving ourselves and moving forward is indeed under the understanding of Pan-Africanism.
And let me step in, because I definitely want to recognize Sister Naja and the time difference that Sister Naja has, that we have reached 6:30, and she has even stayed on for that extra half hour to continue to support us and share with us and teach us.
It.
And wanted to say again, thank you, Sister Naja, and cannot wait to have you back.
Yeah.
And sharing
Thank you,
some more and
beloved
teaching us some more.
Thank you.
And with that, I will ask, I know we're over time, but I will ask, are there any announcements for WOSE before we end with our prayer?
Okay. I just want to announce tomorrow at 7 p.m. is SOS. Sister Zarita will be leading that, as SOS is study of sacred scriptures. That's a 1 hour long, and that's from 7 to 8. Excuse me. Did I say it right? It was 6 to 7.
Mm-hmm. 6 and 7, right.
Mm-hmm.
And on Sunday is second Sunday, and it's time change, spring forward. So make sure you set your clocks properly for that. And we're trying to confirm that Brother Damani, after the historical tribute that he gave on the fourth Sunday, that we saw the need for him to lay that out in a Black Knowledge Matter. So we'll confirm him for next week. And because it is an extensive and it's the foundation, it probably will be 2 weeks on the Sabaka and everything. And then we will do a survival, especially considering what's going on in the world right now. We need Mariana will do her thing on survival, and then we will prep to be ready and have discussion for Anthony Browder's presentation coming here.
Woohoo.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds really good.
So we'll be working with be following up with the commission as we set that up so that we can be primed for when Brother Browder comes in April. So SOS tomorrow, clock spring forward on Sunday, Damani's next week, then we'll be going into safety, and then we'll be ready for Browder. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Mama
Sounds
Doris.
good.
And please, if we take this serious, that Black Knowledge Matters, please share this presentation when it comes out. Share it with as many family members, community members as you can, so that we can all benefit from Sister Naja's wonderful presentation and information.
Yeah.
And next week, as always, please reach out to at least 2 people and ask them to join us next week for Black Knowledge Matters. And with that, I will ask one of our wonderful ministers if they could please pray us out for the evening.
Please join me in bowing your heads and thanking Amun-Ra for this wonderful speaker, bringing us new insights, new information, opening our eyes, opening our minds to the reality of our own lives, to the beauty within us that Amun-Ra has placed in us, the strength and the power that we have for self-determination. May we each be strengthened to continue that work, to continue our growth individually and especially together. Amen. Ashe.
Amen. Ashe.
Good night, everyone.
And if you haven't signed up, the sound bath healing is in March for the solstice. So please sign up. Brother Terrence will be here in Elk Grove, Sacramento area. All right. Peace and blessings, everyone.
Peace and blessings, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.